Oh yeah. Good evening. That was Stone Valor. I wrote it last night for the one fool in the middle of the desert. I'm having the video come out tomorrow, and I was wearing the hat again in the vehicle. Wrote that for Old Man Nation. Some good lines there. The old lonely man in the desert. We talk about two fools. Him and New York Daniel, the dimwit. Maybe New York Daniel's his son. I have no idea. But welcome to Fear-mongering radio on the 30th of January 2026 on a Friday night in the great state of Minnesota. Let them 10,000 likes with a couple. We put music in for fun, to get a point across, have some fun, but we don't just all of a sudden start playing music just because we're bored out of our skulls. Put music background for fun. But welcome to your favorite audio diction on that video platform, YouTube, NoTube. Here on Spreaker, Sprocker. They fired their general manager, which I'm not surprised. Minnesota Mosquitoes. Talk about that tomorrow. Video driving the car. Then we switched over to my Minnesota Mosquitoes. He's all upset because I didn't have a hat on. Oh, poor Marky Mark. Lonely man in the desert. I cry for people like that, but not really. But anyways, your freedoms will always be brought to you by the men and women of the armed forces we speak about every time on this podcast. All they've done for us, all their hard work, all the wars, no matter what they're doing, where they're buried in the white stake at the Minneapolis-St. Paul airport. I see them every single day. They're a beacon of light in the winter storms or the storms. I can see those white stakes up in Randall, Minnesota, where my father-in-law, Navy man, is buried. We always appreciate you guys, and we always know one was supposed to end all wars, but then September 1st, 1938, who they're supposed to disarm, Hitler and his army, the brown shirts who are rising in Minnesota, they invaded Poland like we decided into Venezuela and Greenland. And then we got dragged in Pearl Harbor, and we had to storm those beaches to prevent itinerary and that kind of behavior. Snap the necks out and free those Jews, which we did. And the capitulation was September 2nd, 1945, when Japan on the mighty Mo said, guess what? We're sorry. And ended hostilities in World War II on the mighty Mo. We sacrificed a lot of men and women to do that. So I could speak English. I'll be speaking German to you, or English. God knows if we didn't get that done. Man in the Ivory Tower. Then Korea War. Doesn't know what that was for. Forgotten War. Sacrificed plenty for that. Anything done? Then Vietnam, 58,000 plus were sacrificed. Draft dodgers. Bill Clinton, I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Mr. Winsky Yahoo. He was a draft dodger. And same thing with the hunch, Donald J. up on the hill, flat feet. Judy K. rapist. Flat feet, but for some reason was an awful lot of golf. Didn't go to Vietnam. Many years. Afghan, after 9/11, continuing on. They all hate us, but they all want to come here. We know people here that don't want to work for a living. Non-stop skullduggery. Serve us well. Balls this time of old trees. The Air Force, the Army, and the Marines, and the Navy, and the Merchant Coast Guard. In and out of uniform. Thank you so much for this country. My cat, Oak Ridge Country Club. A lot of the young men, they were, I was like, maybe 13 or 14, and they were coming back and looking for jobs. We talked to a lot of Vietnam vets. They went through. And Agent Orange got a lot of guys like they said in Rambo. He goes, Agent Orange got him. Pretty good video on that too as well. A guy talked about that. A lot of birth defects passed on. We thank you for your service. Thank you very, very much. Like I said, like a cop called crackhead. Balls the size of oak trees. None of them victims. God bless the working class. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, your choices in life. Minnesota Mosquitoes, the Vikings finally fired their general manager after Donald Duck is now going to try to get Super Bowl 60. They made some poor choices, and they're paying the price. Back to square one. But my dad told me to be mistaken choices. When you realize you're making poor choices, you'll correct what you're doing. If you continue to, I made a mistake, you're never going to correct it. Make good choices in life. Would you shower? Would you shower in the shower at Penn State? I'm not showering in the shower. Baby Stu thinks it's okay, I guess. Makes me fun. That's his business. It's too bad. I wouldn't shower in the shower at Penn State. Young man was raped, just like Catholic churches. Burn to the ground. World War II, the rat line. The blue laws here in this country. Never-ending behaviors. Catholic churches, Baptist churches, the Boy Scouts. Speak up, speak out, die on your feet. We have the ice in here in town. But all you gotta do is you have consensual sex. I don't care, you don't like two men having sex. I get it. You can't watch two women. That is not a very Christian thing to be doing. It's not. It's not at all. When you're having sex, have the time of your life. Put one of those on because you'll prevent AIDS, herpes, gonorrhea, and penis. Ouch! Unwanted pregnancies. All of a sudden, Mont flows and come. And all of a sudden, now what? Well, shows to me. Please prevent it. Thank you so much. I said, two men having, smashing gas, I get it. Staple man to a fence, not cool. We'll go home and watch a gangbang with strap-ons. Maybe go see your pastor. But anyways, good choices. Any time of the year, holiday season, which is less than about 11 months away, starting, 9 months away on Sunday. Evil Boogie. You start begging for November 1st, 2026. Don't you gonna drive? If people get murdered, pick up the phone. It's not that tough for some reason. Always reading somebody murdering somebody. Thank you very much. We always appreciate that behavior. But anyways, welcome to Fear Mongering Radio. How the hell? My name is Jeff Cowpote. I guess I'm who talked about yesterday, Stolen Valley. I wrote that song for him. Let's see right here. I've had just over 100 in the last 30 days here on lovely and talented Fear-Monger and Apple Podcasts. These we have 36, Chrome, Safari, iVox, Firefox, Spotify, Spreaker. They both pay me. 118.30 was in the bank account. Spreaker, Quantum, Uba, Web, whole bunch. United States, Australia, United Kingdom, Taiwan, Canada, India, Colombia, Czech, Germany, Denmark, Israel, let my people go, Mexico, New Zealand, Romania, Sweden, El Salvador, and Turkey, whole bunch, Florida, all the way down to New York, bunches of people in Florida, Orlando, Stanford, Cape Coral, Jacksonville, and Sarasota, Hayward, Sacramento, Gardenia, Minnesota is Minneapolis once, tiny Massachusetts, Springfield 7 times, Boston once, Georgia, Montreal, Atlanta, Wisconsin across the border, BOSOBBLE, I can't pronounce it, Tennessee, Knoxville, Nashville. Maybe that's where my girlfriend is. I don't know. You never know. Who knows? Might be, maybe not. I don't know. Who knows? You don't know. Where is Squirrel Bait? Would she ever call the show? Don't know. Probably not. I think she knows how to call the show. She was ass licking last night. But anyways, the Oklahoma's Tulsa Town, Colorado's Littleton. There's a few more out there. The Ohio is Meriden, and Pennsylvania is Shippville. Way up in New York is New York. But anyways, thank everybody so much. And let me see what's this one. New Jersey is Cape May. 10 times from Cape May, New Jersey. Thank you so much. 10 times coming to Fear-Mongering Radio. Yeah, how the hell we're feeling wonderful and delicious and gorgeous and sexy, as we always feel on these beautiful days. I'm alive. I can speak to you. I can feel pain. I can see. I can hear. I can work for a living. I'm an American citizen, not getting tackled and dragged out of cars like here in the great state of Minnesota and downtown Minneapolis. Boy, you guys all going to go to Melania movie and see that disgraced director, I guess, has been blackballed, but he fits right in with the hunch. He sexually harassed people, so he fits right in. So, we're all going to go see that. He claims to sound like hotcakes. I doubt it. No one really cares. The hunch supporters will all love it. Make America Great Again will be there. Guaranteed. My girl will be front row. My girlfriend. Call the show. She'll be there. Squirrel Bait Parody will be there. And there, how long I want to grab it again. You can grab her if you want in public, because she says that's okay. Because she likes the leader of the brown shirts, Donald J. So let's talk about two fools. Two peas in a pot. Uneducated idiots. Let's talk about New York Daniel, the dimwit, and the old man knucklehead. Old man knucklehead. We'll call him knucklehead and the dimwit. Okay? So he did a video the other day, the dimwit, out in New York, about Minneapolis. I talked about it, that he's all, this or that. Just uneducated idiot. Okay, just a total moronic idiot. And I'm like, you have no idea what's going on in Minnesota. And about conceal and carry. We talked about this before. Not understand what's going on in Minnesota. Just being a total idiot. It blows me away that, again, we have the brown shirts, and the brown shirts are every Thursday night with BlindViews. I was in and out of his. I was listening in the background, and he was raging. He at the end about it because someone to New Zealand. And my next neighbor is in New Zealand. He went there. And it's like he's bitching the way they do it. Yeah, the way New Zealand people, and that's their business. He was a gold surprise. Australia, they don't take anybody because they only. If I'm a truck driver, they'd say we don't care. We want doctors. We want mechanics. We don't want idiots. So he was whining about that at the end, and he kind of went off on his PayPal, which I talk about. He's an e-beggar. People give him money. He's just as bad as carpetbagger and a liberal. He's supposed to be a Republican, but he's begging for money. He's got it out there. I have a PayPal. You guys don't know because I don't get to give it to you. I mean, I just sold 2 very big TVs, and I got it in my PayPal. You want to get rid of them? I said, sure, I'll get rid of them. Guy came again, PayPal me and got them. But, so New York Daniel is bitching about that, and then he does a video. I was part of it today. I was out at Roseville picking something up, some equipment behind, which we do all the time. But and I'm like, I picked those up, so I was getting gas at the Amoco, and I'm there, and I was talking to Karl on the phone, and he did it on the Odd Tops report of the Daily Woo, right? And I've talked about the Woo, okay? And he's trying to say that he's going to follow in his footsteps of making the video. No, the Woo was the Woo. You're not going to, there's not a damn thing, there's no way you'll be able to follow the Woo, do a daily video. You have to leave your grandfather's house and move around and show people things. It's like, no, it's not going to happen. I did videos every day for 3 years for fun. I went around Twin Cities and did every day. I would do a fire, whatever I did. I was a point and shoot kind of guy. Not because of him, that's just the way I did stuff. So he's talking about, he kind of rips his father. Kind of makes fun of his father because his father, a religious man, and did a kind of sermon on how, and it's his business, it's his son. I guess I saw a video of his pop up on Facebook one time because his dad is kind of following in his footsteps because he was on with a show with, the hell's his Justin Guard, so he wants to follow in what Adam the Woo was doing. Okay, that's what he's trying to do, right? So the dimwit was doing a show and reading the reason why he died, right? The Odd Tops report. I'm like, okay, it's out there. I know that some helping hermit idiot sitting in his car. I said, look at that guy. I went to his channel, looked at the video. There's a video, helping hermit, okay, in his car. I need you. I want to get to 100,000 subs to get this plaque they give you, okay? I'm not going to get there. Neither is he or anybody else. Getting there unless you got long hair and boobs and you're dancing in front of the camera, which a lot of women do now. He was in his car reading the Odd Tops report. I know that Pass It Through Productions, they put the thing up there. It's like I told Sue Ellen when she asked me about him, what do you think happened? I said it's one of two things. Either he had a blood clot, which that one guy from Edina worked for NBC where he was covering the war and he was always around a tank and he had a blood vessel and I think he died either at home or on the way, whatever. And I said, or he had a heart attack. He said, what do you mean? I said, he was always traveling. I actually said in his comments that many people told him to slow down, go see a doctor, because he could see his getting bigger and bigger, just getting more tired and more tired. So I'm not surprised that he had thickening of the heart. I'm not surprised. They went to the doctor, and I was telling Karl, I said on the phone, I worked with a guy at the other job for many, many years. I didn't really work with the guy, but he was a daytime guy, but he would never take a day off. It's like saying you need sex every single day. And he ended up having a stroke. I haven't seen the guy in 10 years, but he would not take a day off because he was just so, I have to make my tips. And the weekends he would sit there and smoke cigarettes and drink beer. Skinny as hell, long blonde hair, and nice guy, but he would never ever take a day off. Ever. Wouldn't do it. Oh my God, I can't take a day off, Had a stroke. Because I was sitting at the office one day and he came walking, how you feeling? How do you think I'm feeling? I'm just asking, man. I'm just asking. But the guy didn't want to take a day off, just like with the Woo, you know. And Carpetbagger has done videos where I listened when he was in the train. I kind of went through and he was telling his listeners, well, I get, you know, about the Adam Woo. He's still going to eat worse than I do, and I get it, but it's just when you're trying to make money on YouTube, that's the way it is. You don't want to stop. God, I can't put a video every day. I got to have my Patreon money. I got to do my stuff. You know, I put videos every other day on the Adventure Channel. Here, maybe someday, every day, yeah. You know, whatever comes to my mind, I put it up. It's not going to be like I used to do. And I like podcasting. But the New York dimwit is, you know, claiming he's going to model himself after the Woo. Yeah, okay. I mean, Carpetbagger is trying to, he did a question and answer. They want to come on over. And it's like, there's only one Woo. I mean, I guarantee it. Carpetbagger doesn't go out to dinner with his mom when he sees her in Indiana with his hat on. Or when he comes to Minneapolis, his dad lives in St. Paul. I highly doubt he goes with his hat on, okay? He plays that character, that oh shucks kind of guy, but I've seen him in drunken rage and act like a total idiot. But the dimwit, no, you're not going to be the next Woo. Not even close. You're too stupid and far too arrogant and don't read to help meet people. I mean, the Woo didn't do a lot of research on him when he did his stuff, where the Wonder Huss, when she does videos, she does research so she can tell you what's the hell she's looking at, okay? That's what she does. She's real good at doing that. That's what the woman does. She researches behaviors, and this is where I'm at, where the Woo would be at the top of thing. I mean, I don't do all the research either when I'm going someplace either, but I'm surely not the Woo. But I'm just like, oh my God. Like, I just listened to about 10 minutes of it. I'm like, it's not even worth to say anything because he's just a total imbecile and a total dimwit sitting in the house up there and you know, bitching about the shooting here. Just how stupid he is, just how dumb. Don't understand what's going on. You know, the guy getting shot because he's conceal and carry. They have rules in New York, you know, where I get it. But it's just uninformed people piss me off, and I get it. I don't like people come to this country that want to have harm, but we are all part of immigrant culture, and we are built on it. And it's, you know, he's just, sometimes I wonder how some of these people function on YouTube. I really, really wonder how they function. But it's you come on here and you get to talk and do what you want to do. I don't know. I think it's hilarious at times. I really do. That's just the New York dimwit. The ding-a-ling down there and Jack. Oh, there you are. And I do the video of Thick and Rich. My girlfriend, Miss Viggy. So, it's just the usual haters watching Sarasota Tim. And, you know, you look at my girlfriend, Squirrel Bait Parodies, and she did that one on Sarasota Tim on her channel. No one cared, and you know what I mean. No one cares because it's the way it works. No one cares about Sarasota anymore. Just a few people like you, like too, and Karl and Miss Vicky and New York Daniel for some reason think people need to care. You know, whatever. I don't know why, but I wouldn't. If I'm gonna waste good suffering on a AI, I sure wouldn't do one on Sarasota Tim. But you know, she follows the brown shirts and whatever, you know, that dictates what they all like in the room to just give her a spanking. That's what she's gonna do, right? But anyways, so I have a hat that I've talked about in the video. I did it. Okay, first, I didn't know about this because I don't follow the idiot and I don't care. I got rid of his phone number. I don't care. I don't give two pumps about what this guy does. I don't. When you drop the P and then deny it on an audio podcast, and then, you know, because now, like I said, the video coming out tomorrow, I'm his tater. He's my blind view, so no matter what I do from here on out, because he still watches my stuff, and I appreciate him consuming my videos. I put the video up on the other channel, asking if people think I'm stealing stolen valor. I played that song. If you listen to, I don't wear insignias, and I don't wear medals and that kind of behavior. I asked numerous people at work I work with, and they're like, "No, who is this idiot?" But you know, I asked the question. But remember the what did I call him? The old man nincompoop, whatever you want to call the guy. You know, I'm not going to be a hater anymore. Which, yeah, okay, that didn't last very long. You know, he's you know, I mean, hey, he's come on the show, but he's like a nice man, but he's just very. One thing remind me of Mark. He's like a malcontent, like Don Henley was called that, the singer of the Eagles, who the hell he is, never happy, and he's just that kind of guy, like my brother the bitch. You could give Mark a $100 bill and he bitches it's not brand new. He's just never happy, and I had a bad childhood. My childhood was far from perfect. God, it was pretty good. We had the time of our life. Where I grew up here in the poor side of Minnetonka, we had the time of our lives. I had a great time, played a lot of sports. Yeah, my dad had money, but we didn't flex it, and we lived well. And he worked the railroad and made a lot of money on investments that he got from his father, and which my mother doubled and tripled it, and which I'm still spending, and it's a great thing. But we had discipline, and we told to speak out, and especially on YouTube, is speaking on idiots. And I get it, but it's something because I'm wearing that Wisconsin. But you can go to my adventure channel, and you can type in with Cowpote Radio Wisconsin Battleship, and me and Sue Ellen 2 different times did videos on that ship. It was a great visit. I mean, there's a one down there in San Francisco. It's a aircraft carrier. If I ever go down there, I'll buy a hat for that ship. I don't think I bought one for the aircraft carrier in New York. That was fun, dude. I went on that twice. Once with her, and then once with the Talking Head. They had more planes up on the deck. They had the shuttle up there. We toured the submarine, and very cool. I mean, there was that one that Nimitz. What was the one that got scrapped like about 10 years ago? There's a video on that, and it's too bad. They do have one down in, I think, Alabama somewhere. I don't know if it's where by Orange Beach, but I would go there and give the shot. I think it's cool. And I have a Marine hat that I got when my nephew got to the Corps. I have a jacket, got that on there, and I used to have a hockey shirt from lovely and talented Air Force, Air Force Academy. We went there to see how it's really, if you were going to be an Air Force person, it's a great place to go to, because it's really cool how they what they live in the Air Force Academy, these bunks. It's a very, very cool place to go to. We had the time of our life there. We had fun. But so this idiot, this nincompoop, this Nancy boy, what do you want to call his young ass, decides to do a video but doesn't have the balls the size of basketball. Let's put my name in there. It's too gutless. Put my face in there, which I'm not surprised. In which it's just, I mean, I put the huss in there a few times. We've done that before. We all know that. I have fun, put her picture in there, but I don't bitch about it. I may talk about her and promote her, but I'm surely not going to put a bitch about Mark and put his picture in there and whatever else. And I'm not afraid to put his name in there and call him out. I'm not afraid to do it. But I just think it was hilarious that he's sitting there in the desert on the moon, whining and pissing and moaning about me. It's like, okay, you know, that I'm stealing valor, and doesn't have the balls to come in. Somebody made a comment down below. You know, he came to my shirt that I did first. On top of the brown shirts, I don't wear a hat to the airport job. I don't. I'll rise tomorrow morning at 2:00, do my hair, put hairspray on it, and put it back. I don't. And then the old tip jar thing too, as well. You know, because the one I did with the hat on, he claimed that I was after work. No, I went and got gas, went over to a empty parking lot, backed my car up, put my phone up there, put my hat on because I wanted to say this is what I'm wearing. Yeah, I'm not wearing that around. I'm gonna wear a hat. It's gonna be a really, really cool day, and it's a company hat. But it's just kind of like, I ask again. It's my choice to put myself out there and wear the hat and ask if it is stolen valor. And he doesn't like me, so he's gonna make the allegation that I'm stealing valor, and then claiming that I go and try to get discounts on stuff. I'm like, really? I'm like, yeah, okay. You know, I drive around, and I studied some Navy back in the 80s, and a couple of the ships were out and about, and you know, I study all the behaviors. Oh yeah, man, I was in the Navy for 6 years on this one ship, and I was a cook, and oh yeah, you know. So I make sure I make sure I know all the stuff. I'm too young to be a Vietnam vet, obviously, but I could probably say I was in Desert Storm. I was old enough to say I was in the reserve. Yeah, man, I was in the Army Reserves, man, and I got called up to go because a friend of mine I worked with, he was the same age as I was. He was in the reserves. He was in there 2 different tours. He was mainly underground, throwing in airstrikes in, which was kind of cool. He would send me videos and to the song "Kill 'Em All," let the bodies hit the floor. Great videos, like about 2-minute videos, just showing guys trying to set up a bomb. Boom, and he would call it in. He was 12 on, 12 off in an underground bunker. But I guess I could figure that out, and I guess I could claim that. But I've never asked for a discount. I've never even asked for a discount, even if for senior discount. I think we were at Red Lobster for New Year's Eve, and they don't. He goes, "Gee, are you a veteran?" I go, "No," but they don't give senior discount because senior people eat at Red Lobster. So it was just kind of funny, I wear it in the stores. I kind of have my head hung low. When I allegedly do my panhandling, I put on a camouflage jacket, and I stand there and I put veteran from foreign wars, and it's like, it's just again going back to having a bad childhood because I like to show my tips. It's not a shame to do it because people don't work for a living on this video platform. Everyone are e-bagging. It costs money to do your YouTube channel. Like I told Karl on the phone on the way home, I said, listen, I did a lot of videos for 3 years, a ton of videos, and I lost a couple sunglasses, found a pair down by the river one time. I buy cigarettes once in a while. I didn't inhale, I just smoked my cigarettes once in a while for fun. I bought a lot of cigars, never got my money back. I got that camera I got because of the job when they were going to change it over. I gave her some money. I bought my DJI. I bought things for my camera, upgraded, went along, and that I paid for. YouTube's not paying me squat. I make more money doing this, but just kind of showed how stupid he was and how dumb that you're supporting a ship that you went on. Doesn't say I was a veteran. I was the Air Force Academy in Colorado Springs. Very cool to tour it. I thought it was a lot of fun because if you were bringing your kid or your nephew to the Air Force Academy, let's say even your son or somebody, and they want to see how you live, they had the whole areas of the bed they'd sleep in. It was very, very cool. So I bought an Air Force hockey shirt because I'm a hockey fan, and I used to wear it all the time when I work out. And somebody asked me one day, I said, no, I was at the Air Force Academy. I said, you Air Force? He goes, yes, and I'm supporting you in hockey. And we talked about the Air Force. I said, no. I went there and he talked about his Air Force experience and about that academy and how, that he was an airline pilot, and he was like 18 years old and a punk. We had a good conversation. I said, thanks for your service. And he goes, no, thank you for supporting us. I did go, I was in the reserves, man, and I flew some combat missions, It's just like, yeah, okay. But he saw the short because he watched my stuff. I appreciate him because he's got nothing else. So he is like a BlindViews right now because he's got nothing else to do. So he will consume videos and then get triggered what I say, and then we'll do another video and we'll do another one. I feel sorry for the guy that he wants to consume me and then bitch about me because he saw the video and go, oh my God, he's stealing valor. What am I going to do? Well, then put my name in there and say my name if you want to. Don't just allude to it. I got Old Man Nation in there. You know who I'm talking about. I'm not going to sit there and allude and do a video sitting in there in the desert and whine and piss him out about somebody. Have some guts, the balls, the basketball, and actually say the name. I don't screw around with that kind of behavior. I don't elude. It's like carpetbagger, man. It's like if you piss about somebody, you call them out. Don't allude. You know what I'm saying? It just shows how gutless he was. That was kind of funny that he was thinking that I'm stealing valor because what's his name? my boy out there, Casey Grits, goes, "You guys got to kiss." I got to kiss and make of this idiot. You make an allegation like that and then drop the P word, and allude to the P word on somebody. I don't like blind views. I don't need that kind of behavior. I don't like that kind of stuff. Get your own podcast and go get a mixer and do an audio on here on Sprocker. Pay the money. It's what is it, $210 a year? I pay. And go ahead and say that kind of behavior. Go ahead and do a podcast. And I just don't do that kind of behavior. I try not to swear. Like beef stew. I don't mind having the guy on, but he doesn't know how to speak. It's constantly swearing. And just when your education level is barely getting out of high school, beef stew, whatever it may be, or anybody else. I mean, I guess I know how to swear, but I try not to, but try to keep it PG. I mean, I do talk, at sex, whatever else, but I'm surely not going to start dropping the P word on somebody or the N word or anything else on here. It's not the way I roll in life, and I'm not going to do it now. I guess if I want to scream that kind of behavior, I'll sit in the base of my house with Bob Sikoska. He start drinking grain belts, start yelling out racial slurs for fun. I don't know. Start making allegations, screaming and hollering, but that's just not. I've been on many a podcast where people act like total idiots. Because that's why people go do podcasting from real radio, so they can swear and they can say crap and they can get away. Look at Paul Allen from the Vikings. He said the pay protesters should get hazmat pay what they're going through. He got dick slapped in that. He took some time off, but tension arising with the Vikings with firing the general manager and personal ass liquor, saying things about the people that are out there protesting about the hunch and everything else. It's a free country, but it's dividing this state with this immigrant behavior and whatever else. And Marky Mark was the same idiot who put the hunch in a coffin. I don't like the hunch, Donald J. I don't hate the man. I didn't like him before he was the president of America because he didn't pay his bills. I will get a check from Rugburn this month. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe about $1,500 for what I've done, any programming. So I haven't done any welding yet. I'm going to probably do a lot next couple of weeks for my other uncle. So I get paid from whatever money I do from Rugburn. When I get him and the manager, his other employee on the road, and I have to do any stuff. I'm the secretary and I do billing. He pays me whatever, and that's his business. But that's how I get paid. I get paid how much welding and I do and fabricating and any consulting on something they're doing. If whatever, sometimes it's just free, so I go up there and I bill them accordingly. I get paid so much from Rugburn per hour to program something, and that's why I'd rather do that. I make it quicker than make it here. I think I sit at the airport tomorrow. Whatever I'm going to make, I'll be riding around with my Navy hat on, and I'll be have my tip jar right there. It still made me laugh. That was my favorite one. I told a few people at work. I said, where's my tip jar? I got in the shuttle. We were just changing. What do you mean? I said, well, where's my tip jar? He laughed. I go, I suppose I have a tip jar here, right? And he goes, yeah. Other people do ask me, where's your tip jar? I go, it's in my pocket. That's always my favorite. I told you I worked at Super 8 for a while. It's just for fun, just to make loads of cash. A friend of mine worked there. You need someone to work a couple days a week. It was way back. Just 11 years ago when I was just working at the airport, and my wife gave me 2 years to get a job. After 25 years, the Japanese were going to cut me loose, and they had to pay me, but whatever. And there was a guy ahead of me. I'd get in the shuttle. His name would be there, and it would be, I need money for it. I just tore it off every time. I'm like, you're not putting that on in this shuttle, man. He actually had, a jar. I've seen people at the airport, other people, like hotels or offsite people will sit there and have like a jar there. It's like, really? It's like, oh my goodness. So it's always I was college fund or drinking money or whatever else. Like, really? You're going to tip me, you tip me because you want, not because if you can't, what I say? Don't worry about it, pay it forward. Don't worry about it. The other thing they can scan now and go on your check, which is fine. I don't care. Just say thank you, move on. But that made me laugh. And they're still in Valor. I'm like, really? But like I said, you have your choices in life. When you choose to put yourself out there, and same thing with the Wood put himself out there, and so did Carpetbagger. I guess he got a speeding ticket, he put it in the window, and his address was out there, his name, so he put himself out there, and that's fine. I get it, but I don't go looking for people. I don't do that kind of behavior. I don't give out cell phone numbers or address. I don't do that kind of behavior. I will do that stuff on here, so that's the way she goes. So whatever, it's the knucklehead, old man knucklehead. the dimwit are in full regalia here. The hate watchers of Sarasota, whatever the hell he's doing these days, I have no idea. It's like, thick and rich morning, whatever she's doing. I saw her. I think I watched a little bit of her video. I think the last one she put up, she's driving around looking for a parking spot and talking about whatever she's talking about, whatever. So she's the usual, morning, thick and rich. And what's her name? Mighty Python. She's doing these long ass streams, but that's just, I don't know. I get Karl. I get the guy. I love the guy, but that's just. I feel sorry for people that just hate watch people and then bitch about it. It's just. I don't get it, man. It's like people that, what's her name? Mighty Python watches her, and I've seen saturated content. He's a commentary called Saturated Content. He's bitched about Boogie 2998, which to me is another waste of good stuff. In Boogie 2998, everything he does is fake because he's a butt buddy with kid behind the camera. Okay, and also with let me see real quick here. Let me see what. I always like to look at the note when I'm doing a live stream to look. It's kind of interesting to see because Boogie 2998 is. Let me see. Catherine O'Hara Memorial Tribute. Who the hell that is? Oh, she died. What's his name? A line screw one is crying over some chick that I get it. Whatever. So he's going to do a tribute to her. Okay, I'll crawl over her body. Whatever. She was home alone. Nomadic Fanatic, 300 RV off-grid portable generator. So he's doing a commercial. So that's going to piss off BlindViews. So Tater is doing another one here. So he's doing another one of those. So good for him. So that's going to piss off. Michael is dead. Okay. 4K. Okay. Rest in peace. Yeah, okay. So what about his stuff too? Serving my wife. 11 days, only 76,000, like I said. And then We Love You Boogie, 82,000. So I highly doubt he's dead, Michael. That's just, again, it's banned from Golden Corral. Again, he has 2.5 million subs, and where's Baron Exposure? Where is he? Where is the new guy? Where did he go? Where's the second Reckoning coming? The Troll Channel. Where are you, man? Call the show. Call the show. So Boogie 298, let's look. What is he doing these days? Wasted good suffering. Let me see. The end. This was the end in 2025. 3 weeks ago, it's only 38,000. Again, he has 3.8 million. It's finally over. 27K. Because he's Adam the Woo died at 51. He did one of the only 40K. So it is what it is with him. He's not overly. It's everything he has done is a lie, and I don't understand why anybody would. My favorite, if I'm gonna really like a YouTuber, is Daily Grace was my first one. She was funny. I enjoyed Daily Grace. She was hilarious. One of my favorite. She had cancer. I don't know how she's doing, but you type her in, and I know she used to have her own show. She used to have her own in a regular name. She did. So she was really fun. I loved it. She's my first YouTuber I ever watched. She was fun. I used to watch in the morning when I'd get to the office, and whatever she did, she was funny. But I'd never waste good suffering on the Boogie or Kid Behind the Camera. The whole storyline's fake and not a waste. It's a waste of good suffering. So I get it, but BlindViews. I listened to it. I had it in my ear last night. So I did a thing about brown shirts. My girlfriend, you'll be also tonight like you always are if you are a member. I'm not a member. I'm not a member. Maybe you'll be there in your I don't have a sock account. It'd be a troll account. But then again, you're a loser looking and wondering if you're ever be accepted. You get like 3 acquaintances in here waiting for you to know them under the bus like you did Mark and burn those bridges, baby. I didn't throw him under Mark on the bus. He threw himself on the bus, sweetheart. I didn't throw anybody on the bus. He threw himself on the bus. So, whatever it may be. So, I know that Beef Stew was in the building because I went and he, what's his name? BlindViews, bitching about PayPal. He's raging about PayPal. You're an e-beggar, man. because I called on my left. I called up Beef Stew. What are you doing in there? Because I had my ear, and I watched it for like 5 minutes, and I'm watching him. He was asking about Sarasota Tim. So all the brown shirts were getting mad at him because it's like they don't talk about Sarasota Tim because he could tell he's running out of things to talk about. Then he got his guitar in his hand. He started playing guitar, and I left. But I could hear it in the background, and people thought calling the show, and he goes, "This is the show," and I'm like, okay. So it was this. I had my ear. It was pretty funny. I went to the chat room once, and there was my baby girl. So throw them under the bus like you did Mark, but burn those bridges. I burn bridges when people burn their own bridge. I'll die on my feet, sweetheart. I will die on my feet. I'm not going to be in there because you want to say anything. Let's say I wanted to. He's got me blocked. But let's say he had the cowardly move to have it on subs only. That was a cowardly move. So you had to sub the guy to talk to the guy. Okay, so that was kind of funny. They had that. That makes me laugh when you have that on there. So. Only reason I was in there, mainly listening, because I was working. Any other Thursday night, we're watching TV when he's on. I may go back and listen to it depending on what he's talking about, but it was because Beef Stew was trying to talk to him and ask him about it. He was getting all mad. Someone said, call the show. That kind of triggered him. This is the show. It's no show. You're a one-way street, man. Because he started whining and pissing moaning about PayPal. Yeah, you all know you had the PayPal because you told people about it, and then you're a grifter. For some reason, we have to give you a few bucks. He got to stop himself. I thought you're Republican. You're supposed to work for a living. I wouldn't be surprised if he collects welfare. Because he wanted to move to Florida, but you would never fit in. You got your road harbor away wet. You're above the garage. Don't tell me you have other things to do. Okay, all you're doing is sitting there watching Tater because he's probably pissed because Tater hasn't done anything. It's another advertising one. So what he'll do, he'll watch all these RVers and about the meet and greets. That's over with, and he'll listen to that couple that are having a baby, and it's for some reason it's his excuse. I don't care if the lipstick lesbian, my girlfriend, decides to adopt two twins at her age. I don't know. Let's say she's 55 and says, I'm going to adopt. The next generation having babies, I'm going to adopt. That's her business. And maybe she has a pot to piss in. That's her business. Let's say she's my next door neighbor and she decides to adopt somebody. I'd be, well, that's her damn business. People all the time have babies, and those two people in that van will probably be better parents than probably people in houses. They'll decide what they have to do. That's not the way I would raise a family, but I'm not them. They've tried, but good old, the kissing the ring of the leader of the brown shirts. If you don't you don't do things the way he likes it as an RVer, as a nomad, which I think would be great. If I was 50 years old, retired, let's say I did go in the Army, which if I did, I would have been like a mechanic, a diesel. I have two people that went in. One went to the Navy, matter of fact, and he's a cook. He has his own restaurant out in Nevada, and a good friend of mine and another acquaintance I know, both went in the Army and both became diesel mechanics. One works for MTC, and I think he just retired, and the other one works out in Baltimore. He works on one of the truck stops out there, and he's got a really good pension too. They both learned how to be that. That's what I would be to get out, right? So it's just hilarious how he likes to tell people because he wants to be an RVer so bad, but his wife says no. That's why he's jealous, and he's all butthurt again that he got to lick the undercarriage of Tater, and then Tater turned on him because he liked something. It's like whatever. He liked I like all my comments because I see you coming. I'll like it and I appreciate it. Whatever you want to do, go ahead. You know what I'm saying? Have at it. Mark's got me blocked, which is fine. I'm not going to say anything in the first place, so we don't care. Don't follow the guy. BlindViews, the same kind of Nancy boy. As soon as you say something in his chat room, he gets all pissed off. The head starts going back with the mouth. I watch it for a little bit. He's looking around again. Remember, he can't see. Mouth agape, open. You need to have like feeding a whale or something with the mouth agape. His mouth is open. He's looking around. He surely can read pretty well when he needs to. When he sees the money come through, somebody gave him some money twice. I told the Beef Stew on the way home, I said, people do it all the time, and I've talked about this with Karl. It's just these YouTubers I like to watch or something, it takes a lot. I get it takes time to do your video. I live here in Minnetonka. If I decide to work in Watertown, Minnesota, every single day and drive there back and forth, that's my business. My brother-in-law, when he worked for Starkey Labs, he made good money. He drove from Watertown to Eden Prairie every single day, but he made good money. They had a nice farm out there in Watertown, Minnesota. This was back in the late 80s, I think. And they would drove back and forth. If I decided to quit my job, I'd go work for Uline in Hudson, Wisconsin. I guess driving across the river, drive up 94. Unless I'm a single man, I decide to do that every single day, and then bitch about it. Oh my God, I have to drive down 94. Maybe I'm living in St. Paul, which is if I lived in St. Paul, I'd be off of over by the Ford Motor Plant. It's a lot of nice neighborhood that the Ford Motor Plant kind of built over there. It's really nice. So if I decided to drive on 94 and bitch, thank God I had to drive across 94 into Hudson, Wisconsin, and go to work every single day. Oh my God, but good old BlindViews. That's the way he hears it. He's he's bitching about. He got triggered about the PayPal. Then he was bitching about what did he say? About I'm talking to somebody who's in my ear. He was bitching about what was it? People don't listen to like drama, or if it's not drama. But again, like I said, I wonder if Wonder Hussy sent him an email and got him permission from him to leave courtside. Because he is the no man. He is the no man king. You have to do it to what he wants to do it. Then go do it. Tell your wife you're selling the house. Go go watch that video last week of Liz Amazing. $300,000. I don't know. It's a Class B, I think it was. I could do that for $150 with a really nice truck and a pole behind me down with it. I mean, that was the dumbest video I've ever seen in my entire life. That whole video, it's like you're an imbecile. But he wants so bad to be an RVer, so bad, but his wife won't let him because she wants to stay in the cesspool city of state of Pennsylvania. Okay, so if you don't do it his way, what he expects a build out. Well, then you're not kissing the ring of the leader of the brown shirts. Okay, that's the way that is. If it's not good enough, well, the brown shirts got to have that. Gotta make sure everything's okay. It was just funny how he melted down on the pissy and moaning. That was funny. Whining and pissy moaning about the PayPal. Well, you're supposed to be a Republican, young man. You're supposed to be self-sufficient, but you do your stupid paintings, then you do your whining, pissy, moaning, and you're obsessed with Tater. He's fun to keep in check. He's fun to talk about because I'm the only one who really talk about the guy like this, and he comes listens because he's got nothing else to do. So don't tell me. All you have to do is go to the bathroom, and occasionally when you leave the house with your wife, you go to Costco because allegedly you can't see, so you can't drive anywhere. So you wait for her to say, "Hey, I'm going to go somewhere." Whatever you're doing, you watch people on YouTube all day. You listen and you watch. It's all you do. Then you write down your notes, and you have nothing better to do but sit there and put it together in your studio, and then put it up and look in the camera like he's like a foot away from the camera, staring at the camera. Going from screen to screen, talking about something, trying to act. You always notice when he talks to somebody besides Tater, he dresses really nice because he's punchy. He's trying to get a new crowd to come to him because he doesn't want to be. Because he's a rode hard, put away, wet kind of guy. He's that rocker. He's that Ace Frehley kind of guy, and he wants to be this, somebody like Ted, Savage Live. When she would punch up, she would dress up real nice because new people would come to her. That's how she would act. She does people that will bitch about people. I comment on people. I'm a commentator, I guess, too, but I also leave the house with my camera and show you things and have some fun and time in my lives. But I get it, Tater he's so butthurt from Tater because whatever else and whatever Tater does. But if I was Tater, I would publicly thank him. I would say, hey, thank fake blind guy. I would, because he gets so excited when he gets a shout out. He gets so emotional. He has a hard on when someone shouts him out. One of the guys, some YouTuber will say something about it. He gets all. It's like the idiot out there too as well. His buddy who's the stalker. Lion Screw One, he was pimping and prostituting, crawling over the body of Daily Woo outside his house. Like, really? That was, that's the one of his butt buddies. Whenever he mentioned him, he goes, "I get a shout out." Oh boy, we're happy for you. You got a shout out from somebody, but It was so funny to hear him bitch. He's hilarious when the head starts moving around backwards. He starts getting all mad, and then he did something about where his son went to, and it's like, okay, the way they do it in that country, the way we do it here is two different animals. That's the way it goes. People are dying in the oceans, I've told you before, in the desert to get here, and that's what it works. It just sucks. You don't like it, go live with your son then. Go immigrate there then. If you don't like it here, go leave. Go be an RVer, I guess, and go live in the desert. But if he could do it tomorrow, he'd do it. He would sell his house if his wife would let him. He would get an RV and be a wheel wonder. Because remember, he's the expert on how you are an RVer. If he gives you the blessing, if he talks about you, remember, there was somebody last week he was going to talk about, and somebody came over and started talking smack. No views from me. So he was mad that somebody came over who he liked, and then he got mad. So he got all mad. They killed him. I'm not going to talk about him. So somebody's like, I wouldn't want you to talk about me either. I wouldn't want this scary looking idiot, with these sunglasses on, telling me all about my channel. I don't want this idiot. I do my own effing. That was kind of funny. He was all bitter about that because somebody came over talking smack to him. He doesn't like that when that happens. He gets all pissed. Remember, you got to kiss that ring, man. You have to kiss that ring. You have to make sure you stroke his gopher and tell him how great he is, and make sure everything is all good in the hood, right? I mean, how great he is. He's the brown shirts every Thursday night, Thursday. But it was pretty funny. My girlfriend, she was all upset and all frightened about that behavior. She was in there. Her and her friend were blocking people, but I saw with Beefs too. It was kind of funny how he'd make a comment and they'd block and they would remove it. So you can't say anything because the king sees that later after the fact. If he goes over the chat room, he was going to delete it. So you can't say anything negative about the leader of the brown shirts. And Eva Braun was in there, the other Rommel was in there. So I looked in a couple times. It's kind of funny. The chat room was pretty hilarious. And then she was ripping on, I saw the one where she said, did you kiss the ring of Cowpote? I'm like, trigger. I mean, if you're going to talk about me, that just shows them on your mind. It's pretty hilarious because Beef Stew was trying to ask questions about Sarasota Tim. They don't talk about him on there unless you have permission. Okay, he dictates. The chat room dictates policy, and you could tell he was getting pissed. He was getting mad. That's why he went to his guitar. He talked about the PayPal and they giving him money, and it's like he's supposed to be a Republican, but he's acting like a liberal. It's just kind of like with my girlfriend. She's kind of a card-carrying liberal. She gets all bitter, She gets all triggered on stuff, I think she's a card-carrying, a liberal bull dyke. I really do. I think she's, just playing both sides of the aisle. Won't call the show. Whining, pissing, and moaning. Disappointed in her. I guess I'm supposed to have a real angry one, but I hope so. I hope it's angry and mean. I really do. I hope it's just so angry and so upsetting and so frightened that I want to. She needs to give me a good video because her one that she did with Sarasota Tim that was nothing special. I mean, that was boring. You could tell she's not even breaking 100,000 on those because no one cares. And Sarasota Tim's old, but she does what the leader of the brown shirts does. Makes her happy because he wants him to say her name, and so she does. She wants to make sure BlindViews is always licking her undercarriage. She's what she does. So let's call Karl. I don't need to call Beef Stew because all he do is swear. I don't need that behavior. He can do his own show and save trolls. Let's see if Karl's in the building. Karl, call the show.
Hello.
Thanks for calling the show.
Yeah, thanks for taking my call.
No problem.
Long time listener.
Yeah. I was listening to a Vikings podcast because they fired the general manager, And they can't just say, "Hey, thanks for having me on the show." They have to ask how they're doing. You know, the usual. I've been on a few shows. I go, "Thanks for taking my call." You know, that's what I always say. And I said, "All right," and I usually get to it. But he's always, how you doing, or something stupid. They can't just go, "Thanks for having me on," or taking my call, and they get to it. They got to say something stupid. You know, they act like they've never been on the show before. So it's always funny how these real radio.
Yeah, Dave Ramsey always says better than he deserves. Well, that's a good one, but he says it all the time. So
right. So I did a Stealing Valor. I did a song for Old Man Dingling, Old Man Nincompoop, I call him, whine about the Stolen Valor. What's your thoughts on Old Man Old Man Nincompoop?
No, are you at your computer?
What?
Are you at your computer?
Yeah.
How many views did he get on it? I don't think anybody's interested.
Let me see.
But I'd be curious to see how many views he got.
He got some. I mean, I went and looked. He had 2 comments on it. So let me go look here. It's one person made a comment not knowing who the hell I am. They had to flee their RV. Another one here. What's her name? But let me see. Old Man Nation. Let me see. Oh man, let me see. I don't follow the guy, so I got to search for him. So here we go. Let me see.
Oh yeah,
It's no big deal. Because now it's Mark. Mark
from Arizona.
Yeah, but the Old Man Nation. So
Mark in Arizona.
So I'm my picture 190, and somebody made a comment before. His suspicious Black Knight, Jet Lear, and Filky Rusty is only 127. So I love it. What name change? No drama, no hate. Really? That's but it's I love it. Nomadic Fanatic original too, puts out original content, whatever. But somebody made a comment down below. It's like you have no idea who he's talking about, But so. It's fine. Like I said, I told you on the phone, and I told you on this podcast, I put myself out there. I did a short on it because some people, that one day, 3 people asked me, and everyone I said, no, I did not serve, but I'll pass it on. And the one lady at Devani's, we chatted about her husband was in the Navy, and I chatted about the ship, and I said it's a really cool place to go. And my father-in-law was in the Navy, and I said I'll pass it on to somebody for your service. She'll thank you, and I didn't go, I served on a ship and blah blah blah, whatever. It's like, yeah, okay. Because I like the hat because it does. I have almost 5,000 hats in my house and up at my cabin.
No, you've got a big hat collection.
Yeah, I got a bunch. I could probably never wear the same hat twice for 3 years. If I really wanted to, I could. I could literally every day wear a different hat. But certain hats get rotation. They get the one you gave me. I don't know where it is right now. It's somewhere probably in the closet. You know what I'm saying? Because it got rotated. Yeah. And I wear it once in a while. I see it. I put it on because it goes with my NASCAR jacket.
Yeah.
And I wear it. You've seen me wear it a few times on the podcast. And he goes, the one that I did the brown shirts one for 3 minutes while I was after done eating, and then I after I put it up, I got done eating. I walked along and I talked to you, and you told me about the video. So I went and got ice cream and I listened to it. Right. So I'm like, oh, okay. So I got in the car. I have my hair ready for work. I have a hairspray, whatever, because I don't wear a hat. So he makes a comment on my short, the brown shirts. Oh, you don't have a hat now? It's like I don't wear a hat at work. So the idea that I'm not going to wear a hat now so I did a video today, coming tomorrow. Hey, Mark, I'm driving my hat around. I'm driving my car with my hat on. So whatever. I just thought that was funny because he still watches my stuff, and I appreciate that. I don't know where he's at. I have to go look for him. I used to follow him, but not anymore. I don't care. But I just think it's kind of.
What about those people that put the SEAL Team 6 thing on their truck?
Yep, I've seen that before. Well, there's a guy on YouTube who I've seen his videos. They will approach real Stolen Valor people. They will approach people. They'll walk up to somebody who's actually wearing uniforms or has the insignias on them. These people are probably in their 40s, And they're like, those guys are lots of them out there. But it's pretty funny. He walks up to people that are stealing valor, that do that stuff all the time. That pisses me off. I've seen that many, many times.
At the Home Depot, you got to have your, you got to be in the computer system, or you got to have your ID.
Correct, and rightfully so. And it's just like bars. If it's your birthday, I want to see your license before we give you whatever. You just can't claim it's your birthday. Let me see your license. How close is your birthday? But it's too bad. He was fun having on, but when you're an angry man, and see now he's my BlindViews, and I'm nomadic fanatic for him. That's what this is all about. He's and I was just reading much into that I'm throwing people on the bus. No, I'm not. I'm not throwing anybody on the bus. I'm not going to have him come on my show and say the P word towards anyone. I don't like BlindViews. I don't hate the guy, but let's not try to call him something that he's not. Okay, whatever. I get it, man. You do the same to me if I was on your podcast. If I said something inappropriate, I don't think you'd be very happy with that because it's your podcast.
I even called him out when he said it.
Yeah, exactly.
I just made a point of putting it on the record that we didn't agree with.
Yeah, I don't like it. And he got mad because I brought it up, and then he got pissed. I know. It's like, don't do that kind of behavior. Just like with Beef Stew. I don't mind having the guy on. I think he's a character, but he doesn't know how to speak. Like Dingling said in a comment, he goes, he noticed on his show, he doesn't swear, but he comes on mine, he swears. He's absolutely right. You know what I'm saying? You occasionally drop the F-bomb, but not all the time. You may just throw it in there, which is fine. I don't mind it, but not every 3 words, F this, F that, F this, If you want to do it, then go on your own show. I'm not saying that'd be great.
I try not to do it.
That's fine. I mean, you don't do it all the time. That's okay. But when you just constantly, I listen to people on the job sites, and some of these guys cannot have a conversation without the F-bomb. My brother's the same way on the phone with him. He will just constantly F this, F that, and that's fine. It's me and him. But he comes on my show occasionally. He knows to watch his language because we used to do a lot of shows together. And I'd say just keep it, try to keep as much as you can. Because when I'd go on podcasts and somebody's swearing, I didn't swear because I didn't need to. I'm not perfect with my language, but I'm sure that I go on someone's podcast or your show. If I called in your show tomorrow, let's say I could, I wouldn't go on there and start Effenheimering myself because it's your show. Even if you said I could, I wouldn't. So.
Yeah.
It's too bad it's gone, but if he wants to accuse me of stolen valor, that's a very serious crime. He can go right ahead. It's a hat celebrating that ship, which is a really cool ship. I recommend anybody that's heard my voice to go on that ship. It's a very cool tour of whatever the hell it is to go on it to Wisconsin. It's go down there to Virginia Beach. That's where what's her name lives, and go down there and check it out. The whole place. Go to the they have a army base there. And we went on that for the day. That was fun to go on. And then we went to the AAA baseball team. And then you can drive over to the ship or just.
I think I went to some aircraft carrier on the East Coast.
Yes,
I think it was in Charleston Harbor.
Yeah, I think there's one down by Alabama when we go to Orange Beach. I think, but there's also
we also went out to Fort Sumter.
Yes.
We took the boat and went out to Fort Sumter.
Yeah, those are fun bases to go to. It's fun, and maybe you can probably buy a hat that says Fort Sumter. They wouldn't sell it to you if you're representing what you're going on, like the aircraft carrier. I think I went to the one in New York. I've been on it twice. If let's say for some reason you're in New York, I'd go on with you again because it's just like up in Duluth they have that grain boat that they have it there for 25 years, and it's really cool. I've been on it twice. I'd go on it again because it's a great tour.
Well, sometimes guys that serve on a ship, they get the hat that says the ship, and then they come home and they give the hat to their son or something.
Correct. Well, when I was on that ship, because the second time we went downstairs, and you walked past all the lockers, and people had their names on there. My dad was his locker, or this was my locker. So you'd walk along the lockers, and people put their names on there. But it was cool to go down there because they had the restaurant. They had the galley down there. They had all the machinist work. It was a very interesting to walk through there and see these Navy guys go through. Just like when you walk through the nuclear sub in New York, next to the aircraft carrier, what these guys sleep in. So. Whatever. That's just too bad that he had to go down that road. But like I said, I put myself out there and asked that question. So he watched it and then decided to make up a thing on me, and that's fine. I know who I am. I know who. I mean, I would never tell somebody. And when I wear the hat, people always ask me. I'll probably wear it tonight. I don't know. Maybe it's in my car. Probably not. I'll probably look for a hat to wear when I leave tonight. We're going to go out to eat somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But I just
when we go in the German U-boat, we only go 10 people at a time, and they're like, keep them in. There were 35 people serving on this boat.
Are you serious? 35 people?
I think it was between 30 and 20 something.
I've been watching some videos,
but it was crowded with just 10 people walking through.
I was watching a couple of videos of the war zone. It's called whatever it's called. It's a newer. They explain what happened to all the cars at the end. It's like 30-minute videos where how they were scrapped. Some were just disappeared, meaning to private people. It was very interesting videos. What happened to all the luxury cars when the war was over? What happened to the Blue Goose? Where that was sold at auction for $5,000 to somebody, the Blue Goose, and the guy that bought it painted it, which was stupid. And then someone bought it from him, and they repainted it back to blue. But the Blue Goose, it was pretty interesting. All these Mercedes that were like stored in, like, people found them later on. And like, let's say your dad took one and he put it in the farm, and you're the son buys the house and also in the garage, and he's taking all the stuff. And there's an old Mercedes in there, Cadillac in there that was still taken after the war. So it's pretty interesting. All these different planes were found in hangars inside of mountains and stuff. So. But
they had caves and stuff full of art.
Oh God, yes. Well, it's there's so much still left out there too. Inside mountains that are left. There's a bunch of it. If you want to watch a good movie, which I thought was very good, could have been you ever seen the movie the Band of Brothers?
Yeah.
They could have done a Monuments Men, about 10 episodes, because it's a very good movie. Bill Murray was in it, and there's a part in there where they're looking for something in a mountain, right? So they open it up, and it's full of bullion and gold. All of a sudden, the government's like, hey, you guys are heroes, because they found some of value. They were searching for like art and stuff. So they go into this mountain, and they open it up, and they open the door and they turn the lights on. There's a bunch of gold and all this stuff. They found a bunch. It's a true story. But Monuments Men's a really good movie. I went and saw it by myself because you want to go. I highly recommend it if you get a chance. Watch Monuments Men. It's a very good movie. It's like 90 minutes. And who else was in there? A couple people in the movie. It was very good. I thought it was well done. It could have been. It could have been done in about 10 different shows because there's a long history to Monuments Men. I've listened to about searching for lost treasures, and there's plenty of still out there in mountains. Because they found 50 planes in a mountain where they were trying to bring a highway, and they saw an anomaly. So they opened up. They had a whole bunch of planes in this place. So, but anyway, so I did watch the dimwit, a little bit of his behavior with but he talked about Ab the Woo,
Yeah.
I'm like,
that was stupid. I couldn't watch it. It was
about 10 minutes, but he what was funny? He claimed that he was going to model himself after the Woo. I was like, yeah, okay. I listened to like 10 minutes of it. It's just...
Yeah, whatever. He never talked about... I don't remember him ever talking about the Woo.
Only talked about the Woo because I would speak in my podcast about him, and he happened to die. He's never spoke of the Woo. I've known about him for a long time. I've watched a few of his videos, and he's the Woo. He's not like Carpegger. He plays a character where the Woo is the Woo. You probably meet... If the Woo was alive now, and me and you are in Chicago, and he happened to come through... and you walked up to him, he'd have his camera in his hand, he'd shake your hand because he was kind of he's who he is on camera. And I think you're the same way. When I meet you, you're going to be this Santa Claus kind of guy, working class white man. You're not going to be this. You don't walk around with a hat on and act like a character.
Mr. Holton to Mark Klein.
What?
I'm talking to somebody.
Okay. But yeah, I just saw that dimwit, and I was just like,
okay.
Did you listen to any of the BlindViews? Did you listen to any of his live stream? Karl? He must be working. He's working. But I thought that was...
Where do you want me to put it?
Oh, you can just
throw it in the garbage. Just throw it in the garbage. Just throw it in the garbage. Just toss it. Karl is working hard for a living. He's trying to make some gur. So when I come to Chicago, he buy me pizza. I'm expecting to be compensated for my trip to Chicago. That's what I expect. Doing the good old Karl hanging out in the outskirts.
Yep, me too. I'm better.
Okay. Did you listen to any of the brown shirts?
It's dropping off a delivery to a center where ladies that get beat up by guys.
Okay. Oh yeah, we had one of those in my neighborhood years ago.
Yeah, so I'm delivering there. So got to go through security. And
oh yeah. Did you watch any of the brown shirts?
I try, but God, it's so hard to listen to him and then call the show the only show. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I heard that. That was pretty funny because I was listening, but in and out of it, and totally listening. But someone said, "Call the show." That pissed him off, and then he melted down on the PayPal because you're a grifter. You're asking for money, so. I just saw what's his name.
More than a grifter, he's a coward. He can't defend his opinions in conversation.
Correct.
He has to just do a monologue.
Correct.
Every time.
He would never call on the show. He won't take a call unless it's friendly ground. Just like with Tater, he would never. If he does these interviews, he's going to pick and choose. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and every once in a while we disagree, and we disagree completely.
Correct.
But we figure it out, and then we're like, all right, well, this is where we're at.
Because I think we've had conversations, and I've said we agree to disagree. We had, and you're like, and I'm like, I disagree with you, and you're like, I get it, and that's the way she goes. My mom, my father was a Republican union man. My mom was a Democrat, but guess what? We'd sit at the table together, all seven of us. And my dad was at one end. We'd serve my mom and my dad first, then we ourselves. But my dad would be all get served. Well, how was everyone's day today? And they'd go around the table. And how was your? We'd all talk, and my mom and dad would be out on the deck with ice cream. That was their board of directors meeting. They would have that every night with ice cream, and they would talk about their day. That's why we would clean up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they didn't always get along, but guess what? They made sure we were, we had, what's his name claiming I have a bad childhood again, which is hilarious. I guess I've had a bad childhood. So I don't know.
According to him, yeah.
I've had a bad childhood. I've been.
I think you probably had a sheltered childhood, just like I did.
I guess. I
remember we were in the convertible driving through the bad part of town, and I asked my dad if this was the ghetto. He was not going to back me. He was going to back me. Shut the fuck up.
I didn't have a convertible until I bought my own. I always wanted one. So I don't think I was ever in a convertible until I bought one. Maybe it wasn't one, but I always wanted one when I was younger. When I finally had my Sebring convertible, I loved it, man. I bought that thing. I always wanted one. So, but yeah, but he was pretty funny. He was the PayPal thing. He was getting all upset about that. He was getting pissed off. You could tell he was getting mad because people were,
if you're gonna be a beggar, just own it.
Yeah. He did what he is, but what's
for some reason I was doing a live and it was coming up in the comments that people were giving me money. I don't know if they did or they didn't, because I thought I had it turned off.
Yeah.
I never turned it on.
Because if you turn it on, okay, and then you turn it off, you can't turn it back on again, I guess. Because they keep telling me to turn it on, both channels, turn it on. Whenever I do a live stream, they will send me emails, turn it on, because they want that money. You know what I'm saying?
Because I turned it on in the beginning, and then I'm like, well, I don't want this, and then I turned it off. So I guess maybe I can't turn it off.
So,
but I told people, I'm like, cut it the fuck out. Don't do that.
Yeah, I agree. But he was all bitter about that. He was getting pissed off at people in the chat room. It was pretty funny. He was getting mad, so that was kind of funny.
and then, he's a one-way street. So how does he differentiate between Mikey and himself?
Correct. That's why he's jealous. He's jealous of that he gets tires, because before you came on, I said he's jealous that he wants to be an RVer so bad, because he corrects people if they don't do it the way he wants it. And Nomadic Fanatic put a video out today, an advertising video, like a commercial. So that's going to piss him off, because he can't correct him. So he did. So I saw the video. He's doing another commercial, which I don't know why anybody would pay that guy to do a commercial. So he was pissing him off.
And instead of him working, he has the opportunity to take a government check and not work. And he's opted to take the government check and not work.
Correct. But he's sitting.
It's not that he can't work.
He doesn't want to.
But the government's not going to force him to.
Correct. But it was just kind of hilarious. Then Beef Stew was, he was asking about Sarasota Tim. So they'd get mad at him and delete his comments. So he was asking, do you guys talk about Sarasota Tim here? He was trolling my girlfriend, so they were getting pissed. And they were deleting his comments because they were getting mad at him. You know what I'm saying? Because he was asking questions.
I just don't understand Beef Stew.
Yeah.
What his deal is.
I don't know. It's well, and he even said he gets home.
He's trying to get people not to like him.
Yeah, I don't know. If you want to be part of the Brown Church, you only speak nicely about the leader of the Brown Church. You don't sit in there and piss people off, because then you can get blocked. You know what I'm saying? So, I think it's hilarious. But
you can't be saying, "Are you in your mommy's basement?" And
right.
Can't be saying shit like that.
Right. They're going to get mad. The Brown Church are going to get mad at you when you do that kind of, especially. But, he was pretty. Then he went to then he did an immigration little thing about whatever his son going. Then he went to his guitar. So he could tell he was just getting pissed. Because it was the mouth is agape like a bird, looking around with his mouth open, like you need to put something in it. And then he reads the chat room. You could tell he was bored, because Nomadic Fanatic hasn't really done anything. So he's kind of bored. He's talked about the dirt thing, so he has nothing really to talk about. So people are making comments. He's giggling, he's cackling, he's reading the chat room. So he was kind of in a boring live stream, because there was nothing.
New Zealand's it's even more so than immigration.
Yeah.
You have to, if you want to go visit there, you have to apply, and they can say they don't even want you to come visit.
Correct. Well, it's just like with, I told you on the phone, Australia, they're very picky. There was a guy who read an article on that where I think I saw a video where if you want to immigrate there, okay, what can you bring to our community? Are you like a diesel mechanic, or maybe a doctor or a lawyer? They'd love to have you, because they want to improve their lifestyle. And he was bitching about his son. Yeah, your son wants to go to New Zealand. Great. It isn't like America. It's just he was gold sets a price. He just doesn't get it. That's the way they do it in New Zealand. My next door neighbor, he immigrated there. He was a lawyer. He did all the paperwork himself. For 2 years, he left. He's in New Zealand, and he has his own law practice in New Zealand. And he's had the money to do it. And he went to New Zealand, and a lot of people are going there, and that's what they do that, because you have to fly. It's landlocked. You can't just cruise out there like America. But he's bitching about it. It's like, listen, you're talking about apples and oranges here. You know what I'm saying? I get it. It's like it's just not every country is like America. We come across the border and they welcome you in open arms. I get it. Do I wish it was different? Yes, but we don't have you can walk across from Mexico and Canada and do whatever you please. That's the way it works. It's like, you don't like it, he can leave. Go with your son to New Zealand then. You know what I'm saying? Go live in the basement.
Yep.
I mean, I get it. I love this country, and it's like people are dying in oceans and deserts to get here, and I get it. Do I wish people could come to this country, could behave themselves? Yes, but it doesn't always work that way. But I don't know. It was pretty funny. But it's just too bad with Mark whining and pissing and moaning. But he's the first. He's with Bear Exposure. He's the first one on the dislikes, anything with Bear Exposure. I appreciate that. He comes. I put his name in the notes. That's what I do. I put his notes in there. I don't just allude. You know what I'm saying? So, if you're going to talk about me, say it. Don't screw around. Don't do this. Put my name in there. But remember, I love a name change. He's still going to hate on people, because that's all he knows. And people probably have no idea who the hell I'm in the first place. You know what I'm saying? They have no idea. So, they have no idea. But
Yeah. I just thought he was making a video nobody cared about.
right. Anyways, my friend, we're going out to dinner, and it's getting the 90-minute point, and I appreciate you coming on the show and working, and I appreciate everything. We'll talk to you later, okay?
All right, we'll see you.
All right, Carl. There he goes.
Have a good night.
All right, you bet. I try to keep it 90 minutes so we can. I don't want to go too long. That's I did my monologue, whatever else. But remember, the men and women of the armed forces who storming those beaches. Talked before. Maybe they need to storm Mar-a-Lago and behavior going on with the hunch. Two fools, man. New York Dan and Old Man Nation. The dimwit and the nincompoop, right? BlindViews. That's the way he hears it. Remember, he's supposed to be blind, right? But anyways, you guys. 1 and 2. Storm those beaches. Snap the crowd. Feed the Jews. The Air Force, the Army, the Marines, the Navy, merchants, culture, uniform, and all the wars. Forgotten in Vietnam. Balls the size of old trees. If we didn't storm those beaches and do that, we'd be speaking German or Japanese. They capitulated. We talked about September 2nd, 1945. Capitulation. And we appreciate your service. The men went blue. Draw your cop, call a crackhead. Appreciate all you guys doing. God bless working class, not having victims out there. You see something, you say something. That's all you got to do is pick up the phone. Safe sex, ninja thrill, pill, trench attach, okay? You want to smash gas? You don't like two men having consensual sex? You can't watch two women. That is not a very Christian thing to be doing. I get it. You want them, all that, smash gas, go ahead, man. But can't say a man to offense because you don't like them having sex. But go home and watch two women. And that's not right. Vikings fired their general manager. Talked about it on both channels. Marky Mark, I cry for you. But always don't drink and drive. Call someone or you will murder someone. Pick up the phone. Thank you very much. Go right. I mean, it's a board member of Speckley Sports. We Speckley, you win. That's what you require. Jamie C, Zane B, Butt Cheek Sports, Goofy Bone, Debbie Daly, Vince in the Bay, it's Karl, Casey Grits is a board member unofficially. All that kind of behavior. That's all we're asking is just do as you're told. Okay? Or you will be dead wrong. But everyone have a great weekend. It's Friday night here. Hope you'll enjoy the audio. Fear Mongering Radio from the poor side of Minnetonka. One of those 10,000 lakes plus a couple. Little cold weather. But all behave yourselves. And we're going to be out of here. We appreciate it very, very much. Okie dokie. Fear-mongering radio. Peace the Middle East. And keep it real in the field. The girls are in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, we are